Hey everybody, I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. The first thing in this video, we are going to review from Tuesday's video. And the first thing I want to say is, in an emergency, you always call 911. If you're not sure if it's an emergency or not, always use the saying, when in doubt, call 911. Always be prepared to give the 911 operator or dispatcher information such as what's going on, the name of either you or the person you're calling for, how the person is doing or how you are doing, and a location. Never hang up the phone with the 911 operator until help gets there. A first aid kit usually has Band-Aids, gauze, tape, first aid cream, and scissors. If you take anything out of a first aid kit, you need to either put it back or you need to replace the item that you took out. Let's talk now about how to handle nosebleeds. You always want to sit with your head forward, not backwards, when you have a nosebleed, because when you hold your head backwards, the blood will drain down your throat and it won't be able to stop as easily. So you always want to lean forward. When you have your first aid kit and you have a nosebleed, you always want to take the gauze, or if you don't have that, you can take toilet paper, and you're going to put it around your nose, and you're going to lightly press on your nose so that it will help stop the bleeding. Make sure when you have a nosebleed and you're leaning forward and pinching your nose that you breathe through your mouth and not your nose. Always rest for a few moments after you get a nosebleed, because if you get up right after it stops, it might actually cause it to bleed again. Here's a question for you to think about. When does a nosebleed become serious? A nosebleed becomes serious when there is a hit to the head. In this situation, you would want to get emergency help. A nosebleed also becomes serious when the nosebleed lasts longer than 15 minutes. You'll want to call the doctor in this case. Lastly, a nosebleed becomes serious when the nosebleed begins or starts after starting a new medicine. In this case, you would also want to call the doctor. Let's talk about what you can do if somebody is choking on food. The universal distress signal, so what lets you know that a person is choking, is this right here. If you see someone doing this, that means that they are probably choking. If the person can speak, cough, or breathe, don't interfere. Just encourage them to keep coughing. Do not slap them on the back. I've seen that happen before, and it will actually cause the food or whatever they're choking on to go back further into their throat, so they choke even more. The first step in helping someone who is choking is to lean the person forward slightly and stand behind them. Then make a fist with one of your hands. Put your arms around the person and grasp your fist with your other hand near the top of the stomach, just below the ribs. Lastly, make a quick, hard movement inward and upward. This is a fun way to practice if somebody was choking. If you have the materials, that's great. If not, you can just watch Miss Lakin, but all you would need is an empty 2-liter and a little cork. So we're going to pretend that this is the person who's choking, and this is what they're choking on, okay? So Ready? You would. And that's how you practice how to do an abdominal thrust, and the cork coming out would be the piece of food or whatever the person is choking on coming out. Now let's talk about burns. I want you to stop the video and think about things inside and outside that could cause a burn. Here are a couple of things that can cause burns. Inside, the stove or the oven may cause a burn. A hot pan or a hot drink or food can also cause a burn. When you're outside, hot metal, let's say if you sat on a bench and it was really hot, it can cause a burn, or if you're at a bonfire, that can possibly cause a burn as well. Here's a scenario on how to deal with a burn. Let's say that you spill hot coffee all over your hand. Notice how the heat causes the skin to burn. So you want to move your hand away from whatever the heat source is. In this scenario, that would be the coffee. To stop the burning, place your hand in cool running water for 10 to 15 minutes. Lastly, you will cover the burn with a cool cloth. There are many injuries that you can take care of without having to call 911, such as small cuts or scrapes, nosebleeds, choking, and burns. However, if you are unsure whether it's an emergency or not, it's best to go ahead and call 911 and let professional medical personnel take care of the situation. Great job! Now it's time for some fun. Are you ready to dance? We are going to dance to the Cupid Shuffle today. This dance just repeats the same moves over and over. Here we go. Keep it going. Even though I stopped, the music keeps going and you just do the same moves over and over. I hope you enjoyed dancing with me and learning more about first aid. I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.